Welcome everybody to High and Low, a podcast about talking picture shows.
We do films that are corny, and some that are horny, and some that win Academy Awards.
Doing all kind of movies from all kind of genres, serving hot takes like plates of lasagna.
Before we get going, a warning to you. You might hear some talk that's a little blue.
We sometimes cuss and we sometimes curse. We like to do it off the cuff and don't rehearse.
Now if this sounds like your kind of show,
Tune in,
Drop out.
This is High and Low.
The countdown going on right now. Morrow up to Schultz. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
I have a shitty mustache. It's a shitty mustache song.
Decide.
Ah, hell, what's wrong with robbing corpses? They don't need it. It's commonplace.
Don't have to.
We now return to our regularly scheduled program.
All right, welcome back. We're talking hockey movies. Coming up next is 1986's Youngblood.
Youngblood.
Directed, co-written, co-produced by Peter Markle.
Peter Markle. You might know him as doing the last John Candy's last movie, Wagons East. Oh.
I think that's his biggest claim to fame aside from this
Not
movie.
at all a cursed production.
So you can expect good things to come from this.
We got cinematography by one Mark Irwin, who famously worked with David Cronenberg a whole bunch. He worked on Videodrome, The Fly, Fast Company, a movie I recently watched that was shot in Edmonton, right here, which is really great, and I recommend you guys check it out. It's about racing. Yeah, it's
Interesting.
It's a
Not
sweet
Formula
movie.
One.
Well, yeah, a guy I work with told me about it. He's like, "Have you ever seen Fast Company?" I was in the stands, and I was there watching the movie, and they like have a big car crash on the drag strip at the start of the movie, and he was there for that when he was a kid.
Whoa. Got pinged
And
by
I was
shrapnel.
like, I don't know, let me check this movie out. I'm like, holy fuck, David Cronenberg? Yeah, it's a sweet movie.
Yeah, and I will say I was actually really impressed by the cinematography in Youngblood.
Yeah.
It kind of blew me away.
I mean, if you
They
douse
got a real
absolute-
pro.
yeah.
if you fill absolutely every frame with smoke, it's gonna look.
Oh, smoke,
Have you
neon
not
lights.
been in a hockey arena that has just that layer of fucking smoke on the bottom?
Just billowing.
Young blood guy.
Guarantee you, Thunder Bay rink looks like that. It's got that.
This
It's
movie,
got that layer.
that's
can't
one
even
thing I
see the
actually
puck.
loved about it was just like all the grimy hockey arenas and locker rooms and
Oh, yeah.
everything. Like it's got a cool vibe to it. It's not as polished and clean as Miracle.
No, this
No,
is
this
a Canadian
is-
production
yeah.
in a lot of ways. Whether it was put out by Canadian production companies, I don't know. But as Luke just mentioned, we've got Canadian cinematographer.
Canadian talent, a lot of it in the movie.
Yeah,
Except for Youngblood, who's an American.
but there's a lot of Canadian stuff here. You got the 649 posters,
Yep.
other little things like that. And I
Queen
appreciated
Elizabeth's portraits all over the
it.
place.
Yeah, we love her, don't we, folks?
She'll live forever. May her reign last 1,000 years.
Long live the Queen. See, we're doing the new Canadian tradition. I have my portrait of King Charles on the wall, and
Yes.
we salute it before
Yeah,
every
we pledge
episode.
allegiance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he on any for money yet, or what?
No, but why not?
I feel like I
If we
feel like the
printed more
Canadian
money.
Mint, who are normally so happy to like issue new coins and bills, I feel like they're not even bothering right now. They're just like, who cares?
That guy?
We'll wait for a more interesting king. This movie came out in 1986. It's got Pretty Boy Rob Lowe playing Dean Pretty Boy Youngblood.
Yes.
That's what it
Yes.
says in the credits. And once again, they don't call him that like any time in this movie.
Well, except for the rough, like the bruiser.
yeah, he is Youngblood. That's
Yeah.
what they call
Yeah.
him in this movie
Yeah.
all the time.
And it's Rob Lowe. You don't need to tell us that he's a pretty boy.
Yeah, we
He's
know.
got like the most
We know.
symmetrical face in the
Yeah.
history of anything.
Yeah.
This guy, he is distractingly good looking. His features, who were we talking about in the last one, where his, like, his face didn't really line up with the
Oh, yeah.
polygon. Like,
Mr.
the angles were kind of weird. Like, Rob Lowe's got contours on his face.
Yeah.
He's a good looking guy.
And you see all parts of his body in this. You
Yeah,
see him
even
in
his ass is
buttocks.
symmetrical.
Yeah.
Pasty white ass.
fantastic ass.
He's got
High
a
and tight.
I'd
he's
eat
got a
sushi
very
out
nice
of it.
ass.
Out of it. Not just off of it.
Both
No,
of-
I want like the little California rolls popping out of his asshole.
Gonna need you to
my mouth.
gape for a minute, buddy. I gotta eat some sushi out of you.
Okay, I got the gape gloves out. I just need a little more. I'm hungry. They're
Make
just
a
shooting.
meal of it. He's got a nice ass. Cynthia Gibb, who plays his love interest in this, Jessie Chadwick, she has a nice ass too.
Yeah.
I kept thinking if they had children, those children would have
Whoa!
They've had a nice ass.
they would have grown up to be ass models.
I'm an ass model. My face is horrible.
My parents both had fantastic asses. You wouldn't believe it.
No one can stand the sight of me unless it's my ass.
Asses are weird. Asses can trick you. Asses can make you think about whether you're attracted to what you think you're attracted to. Like sometimes you see a fucking hot ass. It's like, oh, whoa.
Like, oh yeah, look at that hot ass. And it's
like, that's a
gay
dude.
porn. Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
That changes everything.
Well,
it,
still a good ass.
I already jerked off to it. I don't know what that means for me and the rest of my life, but here we are.
It changes nothing.
it definitely doesn't help that this hockey team shaves one another as a froshing ritual. So
Yes.
Rob Lowe's ass, not only is it shapely, but it's very smooth.
So yeah.
That's why they had to go for his balls because his ass was too hairless. The ass of an
Somebody already
Egyptian
shaved his ass. That's why they do his ball.
And his name was Rob Lowe.
I'll go in on some hair, especially if it's Rob Lowe. But, I prefer if it's not there, so I'm not having to pick it out of my fucking teeth and getting it down.
Don't need any dingleberries hanging around. Yeah.
Dingleberries.
Don't want to be a cat with a hairball.
It's a hairless ass. It's a clean ass. This guy takes care of himself.
Hockey, right, guys?
Hockey.
This movie is supposedly about hockey, but they spend a whole lot of time focusing on other stuff.
Yes.
Oh, boy, do they.
That's the best part about hockey, though, is afterwards, getting in the showers, right? After you worked up a sweat, getting to take a nice hot shower with the fellas. Isn't that's like the best bonding experience.
I feel like everyone's looking at me right now. The only
our
one
resident
that-
hockey expert.
You guys slather each other up.
No, we just talk about regular shit in the
I don't understand. So when I'm at the gym, I just don't want anybody to talk to me. This
yeah,
old
but like these
the
guys are your friends. Like that you're playing hockey with these. You know these guys like personally. Like you've been to like half these guys' weddings. Like so like you're in the shower being like, oh, you catch the F1 race on the weekend. It's like, oh yeah.
You're saying you're making that sound like that's the most normal thing for friends to do, though. But like,
Yeah, you're just
I've been to a
naked.
bunch of weddings and I've never seen any of my friends' dicks.
Yeah, we don't shower together.
I mean, that's a podcast thing. That's
After
what
the-
podcast friends do.
After the podcast. No, dude, during the break between the two movies, we all shower together.
It's a bonding experience.
We have
Yeah.
to cleanse after the first movie.
Could probably pick the hockey boys' penises out in the lineup.
Oh, nice. What's the ratio of cut to uncut?
Well, that's an interesting question.
I'm not looking that hard.
I guess
Pretty
not.
obvious, I guess. Yeah. I don't need
What
to
is
look
the
at a cock
average?
for longer than half a second to figure that one out.
Our age group, higher circumcised rate.
Yeah, it was definitely in fashion when we were younger.
Yeah.
It was the style at the time.
It was a style.
Lob them off, boys.
I don't know.
I feel a little bit out of fashion right now. I'll just say that.
Hey, it's never too late.
To grow my foreskin back?
You could do it. You could.
I'm thinking really hard.
I read an article the other day. The things they're doing with plastic surgery, we're getting into the realm where you're not going to be able to tell what's natural, what you're born with, whatever.
We're just going to take this little piece from your brain,
wrap it
put it
around.
on your wee-wee.
You're going to take this little cock-shaped piece right from your forehead.
Well, do you guys remember that show Kink that used to be on Showcase?
Hell yeah.
I remember there was one episode where a guy was like furious that when he was a child, his parents had him circumcised, and so he was on a mission to like regrow his foreskin. So he would tie tape and weights to his penis to
try and force his
to like
skin
make
out?
the skin come down.
Oh, God.
So I'm not sure what the end result was.
Oh, after all this
Probably
year,
sure it went
hospital.
well.
at the point.
all these years of torment, all I have is a 9-inch penis.
Yeah.
Just fell off.
Well,
Well, we don't see Rob Lowe's penis in this movie.
That's
No,
degenerate.
unfortunately.
That's degenerate to try and grow back your foreskin. But cock and ball torture,
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
get it.
I get it.
That's what hockey's
That's
all
fine.
about.
It's what hockey. That's
Give me the
sport.
information, cock and balls. Give me the information.
This
You want a
guy's
board
got
of cock?
cock and ball torture all over, on and off the ice.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't be giving his pecker one hell of a look.
Sports.
So that's the thing. If you waterboard a cock long enough, it's going to tell you exactly what you want to know.
Yeah, it'll tell you anything. It'll tell you it robbed the Eiffel Tower.
Yes, that was directed at you, Paddy. He was giving me a look.
I know.
Okay, so it's opening, and it's a grainy camcorder footage. It's the most. You guys played pond hockey. It's a bunch of
Hell
kids
yeah.
playing hockey on a pond.
This is
If you grew up playing hockey, you've done this before. So a couple kids start getting into a bit of a scrap, and then the dad has to put his camcorder down and go and break it up. And
Youngblood's dangling everybody out there on the ice.
Yeah,
That's
he's
why
a-
they get into the scrap.
he's a showboat.
Yeah.
And this kid, he can't fight. But you know what? We're going to see that he can skate,
Yeah.
he can shoot, because now we get a sweet opening credits
He's a-
montage.
Pussy.
Little Mr. Pillowhands over here.
Yeah,
Glass cannon.
he's a finesse player. That's not good enough. They need to make him into a fighter. You understand? He needs to be a well-rounded player.
Well, it'd be nice if they had some muscle to kind of protect him a little bit. That's what we do with
Yeah.
our finesse players.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw some meat shields in front of him and make him.
You're on your own,
can really
kid.
bruise him up if somebody takes a cheap shot.
But that's not the way this movie sees it.
You got to be able to fight.
Yeah,
If you wanna
toughen up
play hockey,
yourself.
You got to fight.
A very interesting sequence. I thought this was very artistic. Rob Lowe doing the solo skating in the arena, and he's kind of like skating.
Also, where
in
did
and
they
out of
find
the
this arena on
shadows.
this farm?
Oh yeah,
It's a dark and smoky hockey rink.
So smoky.
yeah.
Oh, you can see in the background there's actually like legit chairs. Like it's just like
Yeah,
He just drove into town. He's got like a.
that's
just
probably
doing his
the
practice.
entertainment for that entire town. is
just
they-
Rob Lowe skating
They just go out
around.
and watch Rob Lowe skate.
Now, Rob Lowe, to his credit, he trained hard for this film, and he did do a lot of skating.
A lot of
He
it.
seems to
Okay.
have good skating.
Yeah, I
ability.
believe
cuts
it. Like
away on
he,
some
like
of
when
it,
it when it showed Rob Lowe himself, like it didn't look like he was the worst skater on the
Yeah.
planet.
He's the best skater on the in the movie, probably. Like
out of like the main actors,
Rob Lowe-
other than Keanu Reeves, because Keanu Reeves actually played
He played.
almost professional, like
but
semi-professional.
he was the goalie in this
He
movie,
was
so
the
he
go-
doesn't.
well, he
skate
was a
around
goalie
much.
in real life too.
Oh, okay.
Like he almost made the OHL, but he got injured when he was young.
I'll
But-
plug Rob Lowe's autobiography book. If you can get his audiobook, it's great from the library. It's one of my favorites that I've read. He does fantastic impressions. He has amazing stories, and he does talk about this in his book. And he says that Patrick Swayze was an amazing skater. He's fucking natural at it. He said he just couldn't get the hang of skating, and it was really fucking hard on him, but he liked playing hockey and fucking training hard for this movie anyway.
Patrick Swayze seems like one of those guys that's just like naturally good at
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like- So I believe that.
The
He's
guy
in
is
dance.
Yeah, 100%.
That's like one of those things like where Arnold Schwarzenegger or like boxers, they'll take like tap dance or whatever. Patrick Swayze, he can do dirty dancing, so he can. I feel like that translates to any other sport.
Yeah, I think he's a natural athlete.
We don't see his butt, but
No,
That's
to
one
this
of
movie's
my
detriment.
problems with this movie.
yeah.
Yeah, we see Rob Lowe. He's solo, and it's a darkened, smoky arena.
This
we
movie
got
is
the
seen-
fucking kick-ass synth music. There's like a wailing, ripping
Yeah.
Eddie Van Halen guitar solo. It's not Eddie, but it's
This
like,
movie's seen Flashdance and
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Neddy Van Halen or
Nettie play a synth solo.
Like a lot of the scenes in this movie have music video quality. Interestingly lit scenes. Rob Lowe casting glances over his shoulders this way and that at pretty girls and skating in the dark and stuff.
He's
He
got
looks
some
great.
smoldery glances. Yeah.
oh yeah.
He does his little ice dancing routine here, and he's just dripping in sweat. He's beaded in sweat like he's in bed with Ponyboy.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a
straight
lot
up
of
flashback
sweat.
to The Outsiders. People just loved misting Rob Lowe in the 1980s.
This movie has
Can I
the
be your
most
Mr.
sweat
Ro-
sheens.
Can I be your Mr. Lowe?
I was Rob Lowe's Mister from 1982 to 1987.
I can see my reflection.
What did you do after that? Nothing. I lived good and high up the hog for years.
Retired.
That's when Lowe's career matured and he wasn't sweating on film anymore quite as much.
It should be said this is kind of before Rob Lowe. He's still kind of like a young guy trying really hard to act in different modes. And Rob Lowe, I think, is a good actor, especially at what he does. But he's not as like smooth and effortlessly confident, and he doesn't really have any funny things to do in this. So he's kind of not what I'm used to seeing.
That's
him do.
that's the thing.
I
for
agree. He
Arjun.
looks a bit awkward in this movie.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. That's the thing about Rob Lowe is you wouldn't expect him to be funny, but he is quite funny.
Yeah, it's not right.
And, they didn't figure that out until much later. Another 20 years or so, you put that on his face, and then he's extra funny.
It's probably like after The West Wing, they figured out he was funny.
But like St. Elmo's Fire was a year before this, so he was already kind of a big star.
Yeah, he's a teen heartthrob for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the guys they pulled for this movie was fantastic. Like Patrick Swayze was also a star at this point.
He was a big star,
right?
yeah.
Like, but
Keanu.
like Dirty Dancing was
It's
like
just before Dirty Dancing.
like the year afterwards.
Oh, okay.
So he hasn't
Right,
fully
like-
popped yet, but like he's done
No,
some
but,
stuff.
like,
he's done
some-
Red
he was,
Dawn.
like,
He's
yeah,
done this.
He was in like Outsiders. I think,
Outsiders,
right?
yeah,
Like,
like-
he was in things.
And I feel this movie's kind of a hidden gem. Like, I've never heard about this movie before we did it for this podcast.
And me neither.
But yet, like like you say, Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, like, they're fairly big names.
Is this a thing hockey players watch? You were saying like one of your hockey buddies
Yeah, well,
liked it.
They all seem to know it.
There was a watch party that I unfortunately missed that like one of the hockey guys hosted at his place, and it's just like they were talking about it for years, and then I'm just like,
God damn.
yeah, they're like bragging about this movie, It's just
Bragging
like-
about it.
pretty much.
now you can one up him, buddy.
Yeah.
Now you can one up him.
They were all making Youngblood
I talked
references.
about it on a
Yeah, no, I've talked about it on the podcast.
Why don't you listen to it? Why don't you tell a couple friends about it? Why don't you rate, review, and subscribe it?
Bitch.
So this movie takes a hard left turn from Flashdance and goes right into Star Wars, where we find out that Rob Lowe's kind of saddled up on a farm. He finds out that he made a team in Hamilton, the Hamilton Mustangs, and his dad's like,
He's offered a tryout.
yeah, that's right. And his dad's like, but we got one more harvest to make. We need to get a new power converter. You don't have time to go with your
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah, Rob Lowe's like, well, I figured maybe we could get a tractor with my bonus money. And he's like, yeah? Like Kelly's bonus? All he ended up with was a stick in the eye and a $2,000 doctor's bill. Yeah, Dad's like, he's so goddamn small. But his brother's Kelly, who we meet, yeah, he's got
Good
one
brother.
eye. He's got a glass eye. Yeah, he's like, you can fucking do this, Youngblood. You can fucking go out there and try out. And Dad, give him a shot.
Dad, I'll take over for the farm chores. I'll do twice as many chores to give Rob Lowe,
Yeah.
Dean Youngblood, a chance to play hockey.
You know, and that's pretty true. Anytime you have a success story like this, it doesn't come from nothing. It comes from a strong support system.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
A lot of
Everybody's-
times family are sacrificing their personal lives in order to
So much
Whoever
traveling,
to-
so much
yeah.
for young kids every year you got to buy them new equipment when they're growing a lot
It's
and
true.
everything.
You strive for excellence. I mean, everybody around you has to pay the price. Like, you know, I got a divorce for this podcast.
It's that podcast, isn't it?
All right, we'll cut that out.
We'll cut it all out
Yeah.
so much so that we'll cut to Kelly driving Youngblood, little Dean Youngblood, across Niagara Falls.
Oh, Canada.
Oh yeah, they really hammer that in, don't they?
Boop, boop.
Yeah, he's like, there's one thing you got to learn. It's that Canadian national anthem.
And they start
Yeah.
playing it, and honestly, I am hard pressed to think of times that the Canadian anthem has been played in movies. Sometimes it's done for a joke.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Like
it's like
right
a
here.
yes.
Was
like
it in
right
Dudley
here.
Do Right? That seems
It's
like
al-
something he would sing.
I mean, it's always done for a joke, isn't it? It's always like some smash guy's like, "Oh, you gotta go have to live in the sticks somewhere," and then play the Canadian anthem, and then cut to like Winnipeg or something like that.
Yeah.
Are we a big giant joke?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
I mean, we're a joke. We probably don't loom very large in most people's minds, though, so I wouldn't call us a big giant joke.
Oh, so we're a small joke. That's
Yeah,
even
we're
worse.
a small,
More of a pitiful joke.
Well, I kind of feel like Canada on the national stage is a little bit like Rick Moranis, where people seem to like us, and if somebody punches us in the face in Central Park, then the whole world's going to be in uproar.
Right about it. Some people would be like, they're still alive.
SCTV, I've got the whole first season on DVD. It was was watching that shit with Charity
And
a
then
little
it
while
shows
ago.
Great, yeah.
Well, man, we were crying laughing. Rick Moranis especially. Moranis was the fucking star from day one. He's so fucking funny.
Yeah. And he's one of these guys who took a step back at the height of his career to go raise his kid.
Anyway, Kelly drops him off at the arena, and Youngblood's like, "You want to come in? Why? Hold your fucking hand. You're on your own. Don't take any shit from any Canucks.
Yeah, they've
To
got...
them, you're just another wetback crossing the border and playing their game."
That's like not a thing we have here.
Dean's
Yeah, we
like,
don't call Americans
It's
wetbacks.
wetbacks. Can you imagine?
They're swimming over from the Great Lakes.
They came across Niagara Falls.
They're coming from Michigan and Ohio.
Go back home, wetbacks.
We have other ways of
Americans-
talking about.
Obviously, the groups that Canadians are racist against are a little different, just geographics. Dean's not worried about them, about the Canucks getting him. He's
No.
just like, they'll never catch me. But then Kelly is like,
They'll
they'll
catch
catch you. Yeah, he knows that, you know.
Yeah.
It's funny in a movie where going to the big leagues means going to Canada.
Yeah.
Like,
Look
that's
at my
where the-
glass eye. This is what happens when
You're
you
used
go
to playing
Canada.
against these losers, now
They
you're
take
playing
your
against real hockey
fucking guns.
players,
Yeah,
kind of thing. Right?
exactly. It's in their bones.
I kind of like that this isn't like a jump to the big leagues. It's just like for a 17-year-old, Dean's a very young lad here. This is kind of the next logical step for him, and it's a big deal. But yeah, it is going to play in Hamilton, and he's playing out of a hangar essentially. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Every kid's dream, Hamilton, Ontario.
this is before Lin-Manuel Miranda made Hamilton cool. This is like Hamilton was a fucking joke back in the 80s.
It still is, dude.
Dude, if you have a layover in Hamilton, just fucking step out of the plane before it lands. Just
I'm
don't even
pretty
bother.
sure that the Edmonton Oilers farm team was in Hamilton for a while.
That explains
Maybe for a
lot.
bit, but it's definitely not.
The Hamilton Bulldogs. Does that sound familiar? I might have just made that up.
Be right.
Our audience doesn't listen for facts.
Okay, so it's the,
Dear high and low. I am your most notable listener.
Ryan? What?
Ryan.
Why is he writing it?
Or maybe it's like,
why isn't he texting?
hello, good day, mate. High and low. I'm from Australia. I'm your best listener. I think you have Hamilton all wrong.
He's a bunch of chawswazes is what you is.
Oh, what would he know?
We have listeners all over the globe, Patty. I'll have you know. Now, I've heard some allegations that
All over.
our listeners across the globe are just our friends using VPNs to download the podcast because they don't want their internet providers to know that they're listening to us.
They don't want to end up on a list,
That's hogwash.
which is fair. It's a shame we all ended up on a list.
We're all going to end up on a list at some point or another.
Yeah. No fly.
So it's the practice and tryouts. Little Youngblood's going to take his shot against some real deals. We meet Coach Murray Chadwick. Throughout this whole movie, he's smoking darts. He's smoking cigars. He's just a fucking
Oh,
chimney.
he's smoking. It's awesome. This is what the 80s were like.
Yeah.
He's got that coach look. You
Yeah.
know, he's
Yeah.
balding. He's a former player himself. He's no
Mad Dog.
yeah.
Ed Lauder, this actor, I fucking love him. I think all in all, the acting in this movie is great.
And he
For what it is,
Yeah.
it's better than it needs to be.
This
by
guy
a
looks
long
like an
shot.
ex-hockey player, too.
This character actor, listeners, if you've seen him, you know him.
yes, he's got one of those faces where
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I've seen this guy in 100 things.
Yeah.
I
Longest
don't know his
Yard,
name.
He was in
but-
the original and the Adam Sandler remake. He was
okay.
in Raw Deal, The Rocketeer, Death Wish 3, like any fucking action
he
movie
was
from
in
the
Death
80s.
Wish.
He's in everything.
Yeah.
And he's super good. He's looking at these guys skating and he goes, where'd you find these guys? Mexico? Then Dean Youngblood takes the ice, and this guy's reading off the stats to Coach Chadwick. Oh, he's from the Stanton Flyers. 92 goals and 125 assists so far this year.
Wow.
14 penalty minutes. That's not many.
No, he,
Man,
No,
that place-
that tells the story.
Youngblood's got Youngblood's. He's all skill.
Yeah,
No,
he stays out of the box.
Yeah, he
that's some
stays out
pretty
of the
great
box.
stats.
Yeah, this guy goes, that's Kelly's kid brother. And he's like, okay, interesting.
Old One-Eye Kelly.
They're going to give him a hell of a look.
Onlookers are sitting up there in the bleachers. Derek Sutton, that's Patrick Swayze's character, Sutton. He's saying, oh man, nobody can hit this guy. He's fucking quick.
Patrick Swayze in this movie barely has to wear a helmet. His hair is out to his shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In a movie
Didn't
filled
protect
with
him later.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. He looks amazing.
it. Yeah, he's like the team captain.
He
He's
is.
the
Yeah, he's the
alpha.
team captain. Yeah.
The coach here, Chadwick, decides to put Racky in. Racky, he's the big bad guy in the movie.
He's the goon.
He's the
Yeah,
goon. He's the
yeah,
bully. He's the
yeah.
45-year-old guy who's going on for tryouts against all these like
Yeah.
18-year-olds.
So Racky, this guy was a real player.
Looks like he is.
I think he played in the NHL too.
He's got a
yeah,
head
an
made of
enforcer.
cement. He's tougher than nails. His hands are like cactuses, and his brain is like a bowling ball. You can't hurt this guy.
He's eating things that'll make a billy goat puke.
He's a 3-decker sauerkraut and toadstool sandwich
It's amazing.
with arsenic sauce.
He's mean, and he shows that he's a mean guy right off the hop. So they have the face-off there, and he's just smashes into Youngblood right away.
I mean, we do just have to take a minute.
He goes like, keep your head up, prick. You want to go, pretty boy? That's the only pretty boy. And he's got the most Canadian
Super
accent.
Canadian.
I don't know if I can even do a Canadian.
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh, you want to fight?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to go, pretty boy?
Oh, hey.
We're gonna
Yeah.
drop the gloves, eh?
Yeah, he fucking straight up gets into it with Dean and one punches his ass. He fights like an old lady.
To Dean's credit, he take
Well, this
the
was
fight.
after he scored a goal. Like,
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
strip the puck and do a little
Yeah.
Gretzky wraparound there.
Yeah.
That's just not
I don't know.
how.
I don't know what these coaches want out of this guy. Like,
Yeah, like, that's just not how hockey works.
he's got lady
Like,
hands.
this was the coach giving him a Kobayashi Maru from Star Trek. Like,
Yeah.
I know you can't beat Racky, but you have to fight him. You're gonna lose. This is gonna show me how you like handle losing a fight, kind of thing.
It's
like,
demented to send that guy in there
Yeah.
to just beat the fuck out.
you're gonna get brain damage. Your brother's missing one eye. You're gonna be missing both your eyes.
Listen, you smug ass 17-year-old.
I'm gonna send you right back to the farm.
Stay away from my daughter.
Everybody's working out. Everybody's sweaty, looking hot. Is this what you did in your dressing room, Patty? Like, do you do like
Yeah.
squats and full pads and like, are you like doing barbell
Well,
curls?
back in my hot
Guys,
days,
Licking the
yeah,
glistening
no,
sweat
of course
off your
not.
fucking pectorals.
Did you or anybody else on your team do this sort of thing? Like,
I don't think so.
no, it's okay. So it does. So it is ridiculous.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
This is
Yeah.
starting to
Your
sound.
team, maybe. A fucking doughy 40-year-old married guys.
Hey, we were young once.
I like how this is starting to sound like a congressional hearing against Paddy. Like, did you or anyone else you know ever have sweat on your body in the locker room?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Yeah.
I've never seen a locker room. I don't know what it's like in there.
We're just curious. We're little journalists, you know?
Yeah.
There was definitely no working out. It was all
I hear you.
yeah. Once beer league started, it's all just like
Is that what you drink instead of Gatorade? When you're sitting on the bench, you just crack beers or...
no. We drink water on the bench
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
or Gatorade.
Do you
Sometimes.
have like a water spray bottle that you keep beside your bed to just douse yourself down
like at night?
That's fine. Yeah, after,
after getting steamy?
after perhaps you get sweaty. Did you or did you not get sweaty?
I've gotten sweaty before, Mitchell.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Okay, so
Fair.
we're in the locker room. Dean's getting his eyebrows stitched up, and he's like, "Hey, where's the doc?" You're looking at him. I do needlepoint, and he points over to his shoulder, and there's this beautiful needlepoint picture that says, "Where the going gets tough, the tough get going." Remember that one.
I love those generic inspirational phrases.
It just shows how kind of Z League this whole scenario is, where this guy he's like, can you thread the needle for me, Dean? My eyesight's not so good. Once you get it threaded, I'll be able to stitch you up, though. Dean threads it for him, and he's like, I'm a little shaky, but don't mind me. Oh, by the way, I don't have any antiseptic. I don't have any painkillers.
gonna
or
hurt.
anything. Yeah.
Can you spit on this for a minute?
Yeah, bite on this cork.
Dean's getting patched up, and while this is happening, the coach tells Racky that Racky didn't make the team. He's going for Youngblood, and Racky doesn't take it too well.
He's tossing other people's sticks around.
He's a bit of a jerk. He's a big time jerk, and he's throwing things around. And Youngblood's kind of like he hears his name being slandered, and he gets up and he follows him out of the locker room, and he grabs a stick, and it looks like he's gonna brain him.
Yeah, that's assault. When a hockey player,
Is that it? Yeah. What happens on the ice stays on the ice.
Yeah.
You don't take it to the parking lot.
I'm pretty sure there's even been 1 or 2 occasions where a player, after doing something on the ice, has been charged with like a crime or something, like something above and beyond.
That's demented that he's following him out with the stick.
A little bit, yeah.
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 That's a
With
deadly
his
weapon.
bare ass hanging out.
Well, it's not like he's sort of got a towel on, but it falls off because he's just in such a huff.
Yeah.
He's just got a jock strap on.
So it's like little pasty white asses just kind of flapping
Yeah.
in the wind.
You know, the jock strap, that's an interesting piece of clothing, It's like an assless chaps. You're covering up the front, but everything else is just kind of hanging loose.
I mean, the purpose is just to keep your cock from
Most
bouncing
guys
and
wear
falling
now
down.
like it's basically like boxers.
the ass is not revealed.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's basically like a pair of shorts.
So glad we brought an
Yeah,
expert
we're getting
on
the
this
inside
expert.
scoop.
Well, that's the problem with this generation, though, isn't it?
They don't know how to reveal their whole assholes.
Yeah, they can't.
They
They don't bare their whole ass.
Yeah.
They don't get sweaty together.
What are you gonna? if you
Oh, we
want some
get
sushi-
sweaty together still.
Okay, good.
It's just our ass ain't fucking hanging out all the damn time.
We do it with our underwear on.
This is so macho.
Yeah. So Dean's following Racky out. Racky leaves, and
Yeah.
he's about to go follow, and then he hears Cynthia Gibb behind him. That's Jesse Chadwick. She kind of sees him and embarrasses him because, like we've been saying, Dean's got his whole ass hanging out here.
Yeah.
It's a good look at those cheeks.
She got a good look, Costanza.
She's a pretty cool customer. She knows the ropes. She spent her life around hockey players, around these arenas, crawling around in these locker room areas. Gives him a nod at his naked ass.
Yeah, she goes, new uniforms for the playoffs? Nice.
And he tries to cover his jock
His
with the
shame.
hockey stick.
At that point, you're
She's seen it.
basically naked in
Yeah.
frund of a girl. Like,
Yeah.
relax. Just be like,
Might as well.
hey, my name is...
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, if you like what you see,
I would.
I'll be outside the movie theater waiting to meet you.
Yeah, no.
I
See
just
you
start
later.
doing the Ace Ventura
Or not.
and just start talking with my butt at her. Like, hello, I'm Mr. Butt.
Might be a bit. It's a bit too
Nice to meet you.
Maybe it's a bit too much for you guys, but trust me, your kids are gonna love it. So he goes back into the locker room and he's all proud. He's putting his tape with his name, Youngblood. This is the first time I clued into the fact that his name was Youngblood.
Like his last name was actually Youngblood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe.
I mean, you have to take a moment to appreciate how cool that name is.
That's
Because
a
I think
cool
before you think it's like some kind of like nickname.
Well, yeah, because he's
But-
like the
Yeah.
young
But the
guy
fact
on the
that
team.
it's his
But no, that's
actual
his-
name, it's like,
that's
oh my
his
god.
Name?
It's like calling your protagonist John Everyman or something. Like, I'm Dean Youngblood. I'm the Youngblood on this team.
Oh, yeah. I even wrote it into the fucking credits. That is his name.
Yeah, and so every time they call him that, which is a lot in this movie,
I was like, I couldn't believe they put that on his jersey.
Well, you have no need for a nickname if your name is Youngblood. Like,
yeah. Usually
An
with
absurdly
nicknames.
cool name.
yeah.
Pretty boy. That's your nickname.
Pretty boy.
Youngblood. Yeah.
Pretty boy Youngblood. So he's kind of putting his tape up on his locker and he's all proud and he turns around and Swayze and the boys, they're there to give him some good old fashioned hazing.
Yep. The froshing has started.
There's, yeah, it's pretty menacing. There's like crowd of 10 guys kind of circles in around him, and he knows the drill. He's been around the hockey
Oh,
world
yeah.
too, Rob Lowe. He knows what's coming, so he's kind of like casually trying to look for his way out. And
Tries to escape. No,
they know what he's doing. Yeah, they grab him.
Yeah, you can't escape. You just got to take your lumps and fucking do
Yep.
it. You'll be glad you did.
So then he sees
So-
like what's his worst nightmare or his wettest dream, Patrick Swayze wearing a jockstrap for a doctor's mask.
Oh yeah.
Which is
Also
crazy.
Yeah.
disgusting. Like
Yeah.
why the?
Why would he do that to
Yeah,
himself?
why would he do
Honestly,
that to himself?
I'd rather
That's
have
the froshing to himself.
I'd
Like,
rather have you guys shave my nutsack than put a jockstrap
jockstrap
on
to
my
him.
face.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly.
100%.
choice.
If you guys
100%.
want to shave my nutsack, do me a favor.
With a straight razor?
We're all grown-ups here.
I hope.
We should do this live on the pod. This would be like the Stern show.
Will you be upset if I wear a jock strap on my face while I'm doing it?
No, but I
No!
think that's
Okay.
disgusting.
Yeah. You want herpes?
What if it's my own?
No, so this is his hazing jockstrap.
Yeah.
It's got something written on
Oh,
there.
so
It's
he
like
hasn't
Dr.
played
Sutton
hockey
or
and
something
says
like that.
jockstrap.
It says Dr. Sutton. Yeah.
It's a sterile jockstrap.
Okay.
And this is like a really
I
strange
think you'll
case.
find my jockstrap is quite sterile.
I'm a doctor.
If you saw the director's cut, you would have seen him rip open the packaging, kind of like blow it open and like pull it out. And
It's a single-use jockstrap.
Do you have a different version of this Swayze movie too there, Vonn?
yeah, I watched the longer version. It's an extra 45 minutes. Mostly jockstrap related content for some reason.
It's all
Swayze.
just Swayze just fucking acting crazy with a jockstrap.
Swayze's acting a little crazy in this movie.
Yes.
He's kind of taking it for a ride a little bit, and I like that.
This is the Swayze of Point Break.
Yeah.
This is that Swayze we're getting here. He's the one that's a little more chaotic, but also sensitive
Yeah.
and is the leader. He's just so good at playing this character, but it's that exact energy that he's bringing to this is what he's bringing to Point Break.
So yeah, they do the shave.
They're doing a mock surgery. Hold them still, boys. We don't want another Victor Gunderson situation, do we?
Victoria.
Really, for froshing rituals, like, I guess it's kind of humiliating, but like,
Well, it's weird. It's mostly
There's
weird.
worse. There's worse.
well, what's the worst
I've
thing
gotten
about
froshed worse, like getting whipped and fucking
Yeah,
like.
yeah. There's like no pain involved in this. It's humiliating. You're right. but
Provided
it's,
they they actually do it good.
And
like,
they
it's
How
just
much
like,
pain
you
is that
you saved
movie?
me 20 minutes in the shower.
yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't cut my nads off, and I'm
They,
sure
they
you
even
won't.
I'm pretty sure they spread shaving cream on him, so they're
nice
like
touch.
they're very nice, and they probably put aftershave on there.
Thanks a lot, guys. You just made my dick look bigger.
Yeah.
Well, they knew that he was gonna go home too.
Yeah, Miss McGill's boarding house.
Oh, it's all connected. Yeah.
Maybe it
Gotta
is all
look real
connected.
good.
So Miss McGill, she is played by Fionnuala Flanagan.
Fanula.
Flanagan.
Yeah, she's great. I like her in a lot of stuff, and she's very attractive in this as
Hell
a
yeah.
middle-aged woman. Yeah, I'm like, I'm a middle-aged man. I can actually lust
Yeah.
after this person. Whereas, like Cynthia
Yeah.
Gibb, she looks like one of Jerry Seinfeld's girlfriends.
yeah.
I don't feel right looking at her in any kind of way other than being like, "Did you have a nice day at school?"
But yeah, no, Miss McGill, she knows exactly what she's doing. She's wearing super short shorts or a super short skirt.
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
super nice, and
Yeah.
she just comes
Yeah.
on to Dean.
Well, she's got the apron in the front, and then like the
ass
ass
is
is just
awesome.
out in the back. And
Basically, she's
buddy.
the local hockey
in.
cougar, and her house is where all these new guys who breeze through town to play on this team, they
Yeah.
stay in her place, and
Yeah.
she has a big stack of hockey cards, like
of all the
gotta be
guys
hundreds
she's
of them. And
fucked.
she's like, here's a hockey player who stayed here. Here's a hockey player who stayed here. People said this hockey player was mean, but I found him to be quite nice.
yeah, she's like a serial killer with her box of trophies.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
100%.
Reminiscing. But
Yeah. If you sleep with her, you like get absorbed into a little card, like like the
It's so
like
strapped.
Zod in Superman.
Oh man,
So yeah, she fucking shakes him rotten.
Yes, she
Yeah.
did.
And while this is happening, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
and
this is where we're introduced to Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him at first. So it wasn't until the bar scene shortly right after this that I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot Keanu Reeves is in this movie because he's babyface and he's got his Bill and Ted hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like Ted. I love this bedroom that he's got. It's such a fucking
Oh, again, like an
nice.
attic kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, with the
That's
vaulted
cool.
ceilings.
Yeah.
It's got a fireplace, a
Yeah.
fucking wood-burning stove. Where is this? Montreal?
No, Hamilton.
Hamilton. Fucking Hamilton. I'll take it. I would fucking
Montreal.
live in a bedroom like that.
Sutton's got a good place too. Patrick Swayze's got a fucking bang.
Oh, he's got like a studio basically.
Yeah, he's got a bar. He's got
Right,
tons
yeah.
of like neon pillars. Like
Man.
people are living nice up here.
Never mind the fact that you have a landlady who brings you fucking
who's
tea
and banging
snacks
every
and
night.
banging your brains out. Oh, buddy.
She do it to me last year. She do it to me last night. Keanu Reeves, he's doing a French Canadian accent or whatever out on the other
Oh
side
yeah,
of the door.
he's certainly trying to.
Yeah, he's played a character named Heaver.
She do it to
Yeah.
me last year.
She did it to me last night, and he gives him that look like what?
Say what? So now we're having some team beers here. Turns out all the boys have had a good time with Miss McGill.
This is
and
a great scene.
It is. They're just knocking them back. They're knocking back beers. After a minute, Patrick Swayze starts ordering tequila for the table. Little Youngblood here. He's 17 years old from the States, so he's never had a time like this. this. You can be sure of it. Maybe he's had some beers, but he's never just stayed out drinking at the bar. A couple girls at the bar notice the hockey team, and they start and
Puck bunnies as they were.
puck bunnies.
Yeah.
Is that a? Do we? Did
See,
you or
I'm
did
a
you not?
skier and snowboarder. We call them ski bunnies
There you go. Yeah.
in our sport.
Our sports aren't so different, yours and mine. Maybe one day we could.
That's the thing about this movie. It does feel like an 80s boob ski comedy at times, which I appreciate. It doesn't go all the way into it. It has a little more influence from other movies, but the parts where it feels like an 80s boob ski movie is what I like best.
Yeah, most of the pitfalls it comes into is when it tries too much to be a serious romance or a Rocky movie.
I'll be honest, I loved the melodrama in this movie. It really worked for me. Something about just the young cast, Rob Lowe, and just the way it was shot with that 80s great cinematography and that kind of music video look to everything. Something about the melodrama worked in this for me. Whereas some of those moments in Miracle where they play up the melodrama just really didn't work for me. And I was like, get to the hockey action when I was watching that. If Michael Mann made a hockey movie, this is like the movie he would make. That's what it kept reminding me of as I was watching it.
Weird.
And I'll point out a few moments as we're going along here, but
So these puck bunnies come and join them, and they're having a bit of fun. They're like, you take the one with the mustache, that type of thing. And Derek motions. He does a little thing with his teeth where he like chomps them together and motions to one of the guys on the team, and he pulls out full-on dentures.
It's got falsies.
How high?
I know some hockey. I know times are different. It's not the 80s, and like people wear face protection all the time, but like.
yeah.
It's pretty fucking young to have all of your teeth knocked out.
Yeah, well, okay, you lose the front ones. What the fuck happened to the back ones?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Like it's different if you've got like
You'd
the
have
front
serious
4 or
brain
5
injuries
teeth.
if you've lost all those teeth at that
100%.
age.
Like,
oh my
all
god,
your top teeth, like no, you
might have
like,
serious
yeah,
brain injury.
You got dementia.
He pulls out
fucked.
Grandpa's dentures and he puts them in these girls, one of their Bloody Marys, which, point of order, in Canada we have Caesars. We don't have
Agreed.
Bloody Marys.
Yeah.
Somebody, could you open a fucking
Whoa,
book
it
before you write a
depends.
screenplay?
Agreed. I was like, what the fuck is a Bloody Mary
When
out
was the
here? Come
Caesar
on.
invented? I know it was invented in Calgary, but like, was it even a drink
Oh.
by 1980s?
I had no idea it was invented in Calgary. Interesting.
Supposedly.
I thought Julius Caesar invented it in ancient Rome.
No, in the 60s in Calgary.
1951.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah.
Or
Then,
wait.
then it's
I mean, I'm
Caesars.
sure it's disputed. In Canada, we drink Caesars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is the same
Smart.
thing. It's just with clam
Yeah,
instead of
it's just a clam instead of
tomato
tomato
juice.
juice.
And that makes all the difference.
Yes. 100%.
I think it makes it so much more savory.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've had a Bloody Mary. I was like, this is shit.
Yeah, this is garbage.
Is beer and clamato juice a thing in the States, or is that a Canadian thing?
I don't even think
Sure,
That's a
Clamato-
Canadian thing.
Clamato's a
Canadian.
Canadian thing, I think.
Oh, clamada.
Beer and clam, baby.
Well, you want to elect Clamida?
Clamada Harris, your next president.
I saw her test results. They're awful. So after their night at the bar, they're knocking back round after round of tequila, and after a while, Sutton and even the girls are just tossing their shots over their shoulder. They stop drinking after a minute.
This looks like a great time.
And
It
it looks
reminded
like
me
so
of
much
some
fun.
great times I had drinking
I
my
don't-
face off in my 20s.
I don't go out to the bar as often as I do, but it's fun to just go out and have a time with some buddies. And
Yeah, we should go to the bar and just get fucking blackout drunk more often.
Get
Hey,
hammered.
guys.
I just took my nephew there out to White
blackout
Ave.
drunk.
I got as drunk as I've been in a long time, and he just turned 18 recently, and he's from BC where the drinking age is 19, and he was in town visiting, so I'm like, well, fuck, we'll go to the bar, and we just shut it down, and it's just fun to go out and just have a time.
Yeah, not a good habit to make. But
I wouldn't do it before practice if I had a big practice the next day.
And I gotta say, I gotta give these girls credits that are hanging out with the hockey boys here. They can hang, you know. After they get the dentures in their drink, they kind of laugh it off too. And
Oh,
they're
they
having
big time
fun.
laugh it off.
Yeah,
What do they expect?
they're down with it.
Anybody's cool.
Yeah,
If someone did that
exactly.
to me, I would laugh my ass off, and I'd finish my fucking Caesar.
Yeah,
And
how
at
could
this
you
table,
not?
drinks are flowing freely.
Yeah.
It's not like, yeah, well, that's your drink. You got, like, they're obviously buying them replacement drinks, or they're gonna
Yeah.
buy her a fresh
Yeah,
drink and
it's
stuff.
whatever.
Yeah. And also, this is 86. What does a Bloody Mary cost? Like 12 cents?
But you know, just goes to show, never leave your drink unattended, folks at home. Never look away from your drink for a second. Anything could get put in there.
So they're at practice the next day, and they're doing skating drills. This is weird. It's like a weird boot camp thing where they have to crawl around, and they're doing...
Yeah.
Again, I don't know.
It's almost like land training.
What's land training?
What,
In case you need to
you're just
invade.
practicing these kind of drills where like you're getting low, you're getting licked back up, getting down again. Yeah, like they're doing this on ice.
Yeah,
Just
they're
like,
crawling
I've
around
never-
on their
yeah.
hands and knees and shit.
Yeah, which
I'm
is
like,
not-
I don't see any practical use for that.
If
in
anything, what
hockey.
you want is like somebody like falling down and like how quickly can you get back up?
That's a
right?
useful
like
skill.
that's a useful skill.
They're
Like,
doing
if you
tug of
can,
wars
like-
with sticks.
yeah.
That's kind of useful, too.
Exactly right, but
You gotta be careful getting up.
but just
too
he's like
quickly.
going down, turning over, and like getting up. Like it's like that's not hockey. You're not doing fucking.
That's not hockey.
You're not. You're not doing combat roles, right? Like,
Why would you need to do tugs of war on sticks?
Well, keep in mind, this is a
Is that
hockey.
something that happens in hockey?
You got to be able to hold on to your stick.
well, that's also that might be the point is to hold on to your stick. Like, don't let go of that fucking thing.
This movie is sort of about hockey, but it's also sort of about learning how to be a gladiator.
Yes,
Yeah.
This is a league where you have sword fights with your hockey stick.
is Marcus
so-
Aurelius Youngblood.
Yeah. Brother to a hockey player who lost his eye. Son to a hockey player who pulls jerseys over people's
you
heads.
killed my father. Prepare to die.
So Youngblood, after his raucous night, which he's pretty hungover, he's skating like shit. Swayze's knocking him around, and the coach starts just chewing him out. He's like, "You want some milk and cookies? How about a nap?" Yeah.
Thing is, when you're in your early 20s, or I guess he's 17. I remember when I was 17, I could
You bounce
drink
back from that shit.
blackout drunk,
Yeah.
wake up at 6 a.m. the next day, and be fucking fresh as a daisy.
Yeah, I have 2 beers now. I've got to take it easy for the
Yeah,
rest
I've
of the
got to
week.
call my mother.
Dean kind of fucked it at practice. He kind of
Yeah.
screwed up. So he's walking. He's all he's all
sweaty.
smoldering and sweaty. And he walks past the movie theater, which is playing Slumber Party Massacre.
Great flick.
Yeah.
There's a couple other movie posters. I don't know if you guys clocked the Time Bandits poster.
Oh, no, I did
That's
not.
in there. That's a
Time
recognizable
Bandits.
poster.
Great flick, too.
So who
Yeah.
does Youngblood, little Dean Youngblood, run into? Little pretty boy Dean Youngblood. Who does he run into but Jesse? Walking
Yeah.
out of Slumber Party Massacre, and they have a little tete-a-tete here. She gives him his popcorn and walks away. Dean tosses the popcorn in the garbage and chases her down.
That's a
Yeah,
flirty
yeah.
move.
Like,
flirty.
That's a flirty move.
That's how you
Yeah.
flirt in the 80s, for sure.
Well,
Yeah,
Dean was
100%.
like, "How's the movie?" And she's like, "Oh, it's totally your type. It's bloody." And he's like, "Oh no, I can't stand the sight of blood."
Yeah, he's doing the Dean Martin, where it's like, if you like a girl, just follow her for a while. You know, see where she goes, see where she shops, see
Yeah.
where she likes to lay her head at night.
Yeah, to make sure she feels very unsafe.
Yeah, exactly. Learn her habits and her, you
Make
know.
her feel like you're the only person that she can feel safe around.
Yeah. You'll never escape my love.
So Dean starts a long, grueling process of gaslighting her and making her feel
Yeah.
just like there's danger lurking around every single
Oh
corner.
Jesus!
He follows her into the drugstore, and she's like there to pick up some birth control or something, and he starts going through the smut books.
Where'd you get that?
You're really filling in the blanks.
Why else go to a drugstore?
Yeah, he picks up smutty books.
It's funny.
You get your smut and your birth
He's
control.
he's immediately just distracted by the rows of smut that he finds on the bookshelves here. He's like falling around and just, nympho, what's this all about?
It's
Yeah.
good smut.
He forgets what he's doing for a while. He forgot he was stalking
Yeah, she's
someone.
like,
He got distracted.
And then the person he was stalking ends up coming up on him, being like, "What you looking at?"
Maybe you should broaden your horizons and read a different book.
So I'd like to welcome back to the pod Moby Dick.
Have you heard of Moby Dick?
she says, "Hey, how about you pick up some fucking Melville, you illiterate piece of shit? I think old hockey boy should learn to read and write."
Yeah. like he's an illiterate.
So she's going to buy it for him as a little gift, and he sneakily puts his little nympho book under his jacket and goes to go pay for it too, or like, throw this in too, I'll pay for it. And he sneaks that into his bag, and they start walking away from the grocery store, and they're getting to know each other a little bit. She's not being mean to him, but she's taking a bit more seriously. She's not as playful as she was before, playing as coy.
Like, you can tell she likes him, but she's also not there to fall for any bullshit or any game that anyone's running. You know, she knows what these hockey guys are all about, and so she kind of keeps him at arm's length. At first, she's pretending that she's not into hockey and all that kind of stuff. She doesn't want to just, like, fall head over heels. And
it's obvious that she doesn't want to be the girl that everybody on the hockey team is sleeping with.
So who rolls up but the old coach? And turns out that Jessie here is the coach's daughter. This is going to throw a bit of a... What's that hockey expression? It's going to throw a bit of a stick in the works.
Yeah.
It's going to throw some sand on the ice.
Yeah. You're going to get a puck in the skates if you keep playing that way.
Puck in the teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, oh, shit. Oh, Dad.
It's
and
the coach.
Dean's like, oh, look, she bought me a book. And he, like, reaches to pull out Moby Dick, and he pulls out the Nympho book.
His latest edition of Gigantic Asses.
Coach is kind of just rolling his eyes at the whole situation, and he's like, Jessie, it's almost 15 minutes to 10 o'clock. Why don't I give you a ride home? And she's like, I want to stay out a little bit later, Dad. And so he's like, fine.
To his credit, Coach is playing it pretty cool. He's not being over the top like I would have expected him to in this situation.
Yeah.
You know that he's probably going to fucking take it out on Dean later.
Yeah. And you know, Coach was a hockey player, and he knows his daughter has grown up around hockey players and everything. It would be pretty hypocritical for him to be like, no, you can't date a hockey player or whatever.
Yeah, and she has firm breasts and buttocks.
Yeah, nice buttocks. I can't keep you away from Rob Lowe. I couldn't do that to either of you.
So, yeah, Dean's walking her home, and they get to know each other a little bit more, and she's like, sorry, I probably got you in trouble. I just find it hard to talk to people here.
And they haven't talked at all. All he did was, like, he showed her his butt, and then he followed her into a drugstore. And that's basically the extent of the talking they've
That's
been
about
doing.
enough.
Yeah.
He lets his butt do all the talking, like Ace Ventura.
Feel like in the 80s, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Rob Lowe's butt is like, it's worth 10,000 words.
That's true.
Do you have a breath mint? Or some...
I don't get it, Dean. Is this supposed to be funny? Comedy hasn't reached this point yet.
Mind if I ask you a few questions?
Dean, I'm just trying to talk to you about Moby Dick.
Dick?
I prefer Moby ass.
We get some backstory. She's from the States. Her dad was a hockey player. She moved here. She's been around hockey players her whole life. She drives a Zamboni. Her dream is to drive a Zamboni in the Madison Square Garden.
She says sarcastically, I think. She doesn't really want to be a Zamboni driver, but she has no prospects in life other than...
Yeah, because she's the coach's daughter living in Hamilton.
Yeah.
Her prospects are Miss McGill. That's what she has to look forward to.
Oh, and this
Which is pretty good.
So the team's going into the first game of the playoffs. We should mention that Youngblood, he's just up for the playoffs. It's kind of weird that they had tryouts just for a playoff slot. I don't know if that's a thing, but Youngblood's playing on Sutton's line. They're not really communicating that well on the ice.
You can't have two alphas in the wolf pack. What do they say? A wolf needs to eat with his legs if he wants to survive.
You gotta eat the wolf's legs.
As it turns out, they actually do have some great chemistry together when they start working together.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
They're struggling a bit at first. Derek's getting fucking frustrated. Dean's like, just pass me the fucking puck. He puts one on Dino's tape, and he fucking breaks away, and that's a backhander. Real nice. Jessie's listening with a portable radio in class. She's like, way to go, Youngblood.
yeah,
One of the students like, who's winning?
And then the coach, unexpectedly, he's like, Dean, you're sitting out.
you're benched.
Benched. Yeah,
Yeah.
after scoring a goal.
Yeah, is that because he's mad about Jesse, or is he
Yes.
just mad that he was hot dogging a little bit?
It's probably a little of both.
Okay, I kind of read it more as of a hot dogging thing, but later on, Dean says that it's because of Jesse, so
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how to take it.
I think it's kind of because of Jesse, but I mean, I think he does really want him to eat his humble pie.
Yeah, he's got to make a man out of young blood.
He's not depicted as a coaching genius in the same way that Herbert Brooks is.
No, this isn't the coach's movie.
No.
Even though Dean's on the bench, they win. And so they have a little bit of post-game flirting. Dean accosts Jesse.
As she's riding the Zamboni, conditioning up the ice. He does a slick move where he pretends to fall under it. And she's like, oh my God.
Just go back a little bit to the scene where they win the game and they're in the dressing room. I believe that is the last point that we actually see Keanu Reeves in this movie.
Oh, you could be right.
Yeah, he disappears in the
He
later half of
disappeared.
this
I'm
movie.
pretty I think that's the last point that we
I'm
actually
like,
see.
when did they replace the goalie and why?
Yeah, because he was the goalie, and then
It was not him in
Nope.
net later on in the movie. And I was like,
Interesting.
did he get busy fucking making Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure or what?
Yeah, getting
But-
famous.
but he disappeared in this movie, like all of a sudden, like he's just
I
not
know.
there. Where the fuck's
Where'd
Keanu
he go?
Reeves?
I know.
And then I try to trace it back to the last scene I saw him in, and then
Total bummer.
Interesting.
Rewind.
rewind.
Patty's got the fucking pictures of screen cats with like the yarn connecting them.
This movie isn't like Miracle where it's focused on the team and a number of characters. It really is about the title character, Youngblood.
Yeah,
And even
and
Patrick Swayze is
even Patrick
secondary.
Swayze has a pretty minor role.
Swayze's got a couple good scenes, though.
Yeah, so after the game, there's some flirting going on. He's talking to Jesse, and Dean's all pouty about it. He scores a goal. Patrick Swayze picked the puck up in the game, and he gave it to Dean, and he threw it in the garbage. He doesn't want it, so he's being all pouty to Jesse about this. He's like, "Your dad benched me because he saw us together."
It's called being a bitch.
Yeah. if I'm getting benched for being a bitch,
I might as well actually be a bitch.
Might as well actually be a bitch.
He's right, though.
so they go on a little skate date. It's really cute. Everybody's just skating in a circle, and it's all old people and young bloods. Dean's kind of giving her a hard time about this, and
The fact that there's a guard here is so funny, which I've never seen in any leisure rink before. And this fucking nerd is just all over them. He's like, hey, you better skate along the boards. You're going to get run over.
This fucking
And they're
guy.
playing
Yeah.
around and they're playing tag. He taps her on the butt. And the nerdy guard's already had enough. He's so fucking fed up with them. He's like, you guys got to get off the ice. And he's chasing them down.
He can't compete.
Yeah, he's
that
got a
guard.
whistle. And
it turns into a Benny Hill skit for a minute.
all of a sudden, there's a big fucking cake in the middle of the
in the
ring.
very middle of the ice. Would you know there's a table just laden with a whipped cream cake?
Yeah.
Sure would be a shame if some dorky fucking art's face
Bunch of
went
banana
face
peels.
planting into this fucking cake.
10 banana cream pies. So this dweeb, he gets it.
This tweet. Oh yeah, he gets it.
He just does a full-on Disney face plant. It's just so out of place in this movie.
Most of this movie's pretty serious. And
The one comedic relief in the whole movie.
Yeah. They go back to they go back to I think it's her dad's office, and she is recounting some of his career highlights as an NHL All-Star. Dean kind of gives her some backstory about how he used to stay out all night on the ice until dark as a kid with his brother, and now he's got to get a contract because he doesn't want to work in a goddamn mill or a farm. His mom left them 4 years ago. Just like, let's go have some vaginal intercourse. Yeah,
It's creaky.
that's pretty fun. Yeah, they sit on their bed, and it's way too squeaky. So what do? They move the
Put it on the
mattress onto
floor,
the floor.
next to the fire.
That
Hell
was
yeah.
a fucking
Sexy.
good move, man. The way they're
Upgrade.
like, this bed's squeaky, and then just it cuts to them tossing that
Yeah.
mattress. I was like,
Then they have what was the note say here? They have some convincing sex.
Yeah,
it's
this-
a good sex
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
It went further than I thought it would.
more sweat, more sheen,
Yeah.
exposed buttocks. This is where you see her
There
buttocks.
was some tea making.
Yeah.
During the
Exposed
sex scene?
breasts. I was surprised. I was pleased.
Unexpectedly surprised. Yes.
There's bosom.
It's
I'm
like, it's
happy.
like there's no way they're going to show her tits. Oh, there's the tits.
Two people having fun, having sex.
Well,
Yeah.
mother, why don't you say we go back up to the bedroom and have some convincing sex?
Miss McGill, totally oblivious. Yeah,
Yep.
she's making she has a tea ritual. She's putting lemon in there.
Poor Miss McGill.
She takes it like a champ. So
Yeah,
she comes
yeah.
up and she drops off her tea and crumpets, and she just has a bit of a smirk.
Oh, she knows it's her turn tomorrow.
Yeah,
She's
exactly.
very cool about it. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, this guy's 17. Huh?
I got a whole team of Youngbloods coming up next season. Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
She'll be all right.
So here Dean after their coitus, he sprays himself down with his water bottle that he keeps near the mattress there, and
This was cute. I love
Because that's what hockey
yeah.
boys do. They have hockey bottles next to their bed.
every which way. Doesn't even matter if you
That
move
is
the bed.
true. I've seen you fucking walk around with your hockey bottle.
It's a lifestyle.
Yes. It's like, I don't do that.
Dean's at Derek's place. They're having some beers, just kind of, getting closer, bonding his teammates. Derek's like, so did old lady McGill catch you before or after you put the puck in the net?
What is this hangout place that Derek has
Dude,
here?
that's his pad, man. It's sweet.
That's
It's
his
a sweet pad.
Oh
It's
my
a
god,
sweet pad.
it's a giant loft. It's like the
Yeah.
fucking hangout den from the Switchblade sisters.
Totally, yeah.
It's like a biker's bar hangout. It's so
huge,
cool.
open. You got enough spot. They have a practice shooting rink there. He's got a
Exposed
wet
brick.
bar,
High ceilings.
TVs, couches everywhere. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
sweet place.
Swayze's living the dream.
Yeah, they got the thing where you can shoot the pucks at it. It's like a carny game or whatever.
Yeah,
It's got the like a cardboard cutout type goalie.
Yeah, and there's like certain spots you
In
want
the
to shoot
points.
the puck at.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if you get in
Yeah.
if you get it on the glove side, you get some points. If you get in the 5-hole, you get some points.
yeah,
stuff like
you get
that.
the big bell when you fucking score.
So they're just like kind of talking about where
Yep.
they came from, their dreams, what they want to do.
They're
Turns out,
slamming beers.
and Derek, he wants to be the #1 draft pick. That's his dream. He's like, I'm not going to college. I'm not going to university. Hockey's what I'm good at.
He never even
Ain't
finished
nothing-
high school.
Yeah.
Ain't
He
nothing
never
bad's
finished
gonna
high
happen
school.
to me, Dean.
Oh, you see it coming from a mile away. Like that something is going to happen to Patrick Swayze. It's a classic sports.
Look up foreshadowing on Google.
Yeah, yeah.
While Derek's kind of outlining how he's going to be dead meat, he's also explained to Dean that he's got to take the stitches out of his eyebrow because they're playing the Bears next.
They're
right?
playing Thunder Bay.
the Thunder Bay Bears, and those guys, they're like the 72 Philly Flyers. They're mean.
Boy.
If they see stitches, they're gonna
Man,
break them open
Even,
again. They're
rip
going
even
for
your
the
I've
win.
heard nightmares of Thunder Bay.
They'll break your knee. They'll just straight up break your knee.
'Cause that's Northern Ontario. It's a bit of a rougher breed up around there.
Like if you're traveling from Manitoba into Ontario, Thunder Bay is one of the first major.
Yeah, and then Ontario dips down south
Yeah.
big time.
Okay, yeah.
So while they're having this chit chat, Derek's saying that hockey's his whole life, and Dean asks him like, do you even still like playing hockey? And Derek's like, I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Hockey's great, Mitty.
Hockey-
Like,
It's in his blood.
Hockey's life. So we cut to Thunder Bay, and they've got chain link boards around. This is like an old school hockey rink.
that took me like the fact that Thunder Bay had chain link fence. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like this is accurate. Like,
Yeah, it's like a cage
That was
match.
They didn't
like,
believe
yeah.
in plexiglass.
Oh, yeah.
You're expecting like Mankind or something like that to come out and be like.
fall through the top.
So here's where we find out they picked up Racky.
Yeah.
So he
The
got
goon.
Yeah,
Lagoon.
and he's still pissed off. You better believe it.
I don't know why. He gets to do what he loves. Just punch people in the face for fun. I
Some
guess
people
not a
are
living.
just bitches, man. What do you want?
Bunch of babies. So the Mustangs, they're getting the shit knocked out of him. They're getting knocked around like rag dolls, and the coach, he's letting them know as much.
I never saw such a sorry bunch of losers in my life. I got 3 bus tickets here for some of your favorite Junior C hockey teams. Blind River, Medicine Hat, Squaw Island. You better start hitting out there. I didn't drive halfway up the fucking Arctic Circle to get beat up by these goons.
So just to throw it out there, that I played Junior C. That's what. my-
You want to play fucking Junior C in
That's
Medicine
what,
Hat, Paddy, you
that's
pussy.
what my pinnacle of hockey was.
So he's
was
like
Junior
threatening
C.
his players. He's like, I'll send you to Paddy's level if you
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
smarten up.
You
Listen to me carefully. There's no shame greater.
My job.
Boys want to be a fucking Paddy. I didn't think so.
I won provincials when I was in Junior C, but it was still Junior C.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
pretty great.
You beat Medicine Hat. The game, they lose the game, and it turns into it devolves into a bench clearing brawl. And I do love these, and we don't get them often.
Yeah.
But everybody's fucking on the ice. And I love how the coach is like cheering the team. I was like, get out there.
Get out there. It's like, go.
And he's always like sitting there watching, like putting up his dukes, being like, give him the left, give him the right, give him the left.
So Rob Lowe gets one punch. And he's out. You see Sutton, Patrick Swayze, land a couple and win a fight.
Yeah,
he's
the
a tough
goalies
guy.
are going at it. The
Goalies are
goalies have
going
left
at
their
it.
nets.
Yeah.
That's always a fun treat.
This really is a spiritual sequel to The Outsider.
Did that fight have Keanu Reeves? Was that Keanu Reeves in that?
It was hard for me to track him because like he looked like Keanu Reeves, but also he
with the goalie
was
mask.
so young.
You know?
Imagine if John Wick came out on that ice. Just started cracking dudes.
Oh, God.
Everybody's dead, including his own team. Like,
He put a hockey stick up.
Everybody in the
jamming a guy's face through it.
Right into the eye socket. Right into the roof of the mouth.
He killed 40 of my best men with a fucking pencil.
with a fucking
Baba Yaga.
So one of the refs is trying to break this up, and he kind of comes back a few times in the movie. This guy looks like if Wallace Shawn and Gene Wilder got spliced in the machine from The Fly. A wee petite guy who's like kind of balding with Gene Wilder's big frizzy hair, and he's like the bad guy referee throughout the rest of the movie.
He's as blind as a bat. This guy
this
couldn't
guy
see
is-
the broadside of a...
He's the worst ref.
I've seen my fair share of bad refs growing up around the fucking hockey rinks, watching my dad play hockey.
Yeah.
There's one story he always relates, and it was like in the 80s, and people had them really thick glasses at the time, and there was this ref who was just missing shit like this. And this fucking guy that was in the stands, he pulled off his, like, the thickest Coke bottle glasses you've ever seen, and he's just slamming them on the fucking boards. Like this game nobody's at. Being like, boom, 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 boom. Hey, ref, I think you dropped your fucking glasses.
Oh, we take that shit seriously up here.
Oh, buddy.
I used to go watch my buddy play hockey in high school, and one person on his team, his dad was the police chief of the city, and this guy was the biggest fucking loose cannon. I saw him get ejected out of like 3 or 4 games, screaming himself till he was red in the face
This
at
tracks.
the refs. These kids are like 15 years old, like fucking.
When I was in like Pee Wee hockey, it was quite interesting because there was Hell's Angels, military, and like a high-ranking police officer. They were just hanging out
Rubbing
on the boards
shoulders.
together. Anybody, like, they were just by themselves. Nobody else wanted to hang out with these three. But it was just those three at the end of the boards just yelling at all of us, being like, fucking skate. Kind of thing. Like, it's like,
Yes, sir.
I guess we're skating. Like, goddamn. Like,
Yeah, what was your rank in the military? Oh yeah, you can go in the aggro dad corner.
yeah, exactly. It was just so funny. It's just like, oh, so there's a police.
A cop, a gangster, and another guy walk
Yeah.
into a hockey arena. Make some kids regret ever lacing up the skates.
So, yeah, everybody's having this big brawl under the portrait of Queen Elizabeth, which we all
long may
have.
she reign.
Every wall in Canada, we all just salute that. Derek Sutton, he gives a big Bugs Bunny smooch on the lips to another guy.
Like to a ref.
Oh, yeah. Was it to the ref?
I think it was to the ref.
Yeah,
And then,
because he
and
was
then,
gonna punch him, and then
Yeah.
he saw he was a ref. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kiss him."
and then that's the point where they all lost their shit because a man kissed another man. So
Yeah.
the whole crowd lost their mind.
That's hilarious.
This is hockey.
This is hockey.
I don't know if
This
you guys-
isn't where men kiss other men.
No one should be kissing nobody.
Except in the confines of a locker room.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. On the hockey rink, you kiss with your fist. Right? That's a hockey
Yeah,
expression.
you're not wrong.
It's like a country song to me.
So after this whole fight gets kind of settled down, finally we can play some more hockey here,
Yes,
boys.
absolutely.
And we get a nice little back and forth play here between Youngblood and Sutton, right into the back of the net. Big old Bruiseraki, he doesn't take too kindly to this. He
Never.
comes off the bench. It's a real Mighty Ducks 2 moment, or no, Mighty Ducks 1 moment, where it's basically he's like, "What did you do? My job." This guy's a fucking bruiser, and he just goes, and he's out for blood, and he's gonna take out Sutton.
It's a pretty classic kind of sports movie moment. Like my favorite sports movie, Bloodsport. This kind of happens in that where, you know, Jean-Claude Van Damme's friend has to get injured in order
Yeah.
for the stakes to be raised, for it to become personal, for him to go after the other guy. Or
Yeah.
Racky comes up, and he kind of like hits Dean and trips him. He knocks his helmet off, and then he trips him. And
that's a slew foot, baby.
that's a slew foot? That's
That's
slew
what we
foot.
call a slew foot.
So yeah, he takes him out, and Sutton just blasts his head on the ice, and it looks bad. It's a bad fall. There's blood.
Guys are much sneakier. Like instead of like just a big like stick trip, like usually what you do if you're actually playing hockey, you like just have your leg behind the guy's
note,
legs.
here's what
and
you
then,
do.
And then you bring your like elbow, like your arm in front of him, and then you like pull him back.
And if you
then-
pull hard enough,
yeah.
That's
can
how
pull his
you
head right
really
off.
injure them.
And that's how you
give them
motherfuckers.
That's how you
Like-
give them a metal plate in the back of their head.
yeah.
People have done it to me before, and that's when you see red as a hockey player. Like
Yeah.
when somebody tries to do that to you, they do it, and like you're okay afterwards, but you see like it's blinding rage.
That's
And
when the gloves are coming off.
And then like that guy that did it, and like there's no call, and it's just like you want to murder this motherfucker.
That's why you killed that guy.
And
We
that's-
finally know.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Never
Sutton's fucked up. The alt captain Hewitt, he comes and swings his stick at Ricky like a bat to
Which is what you
retaliate.
do.
He's going, "I'm gonna carve you up."
Sutton gets hospitalized at the end of this game.
Yes.
And that's kind of the real pivotal moment for Youngblood here. This is where he has this crisis of conscience about what is hockey really?
Because he lies at this point. Well,
Yeah, he
because
does.
like
He's
he
too
asks, like,
ashamed.
"Did you get him for me?"
Rob Lowe's like,
Yeah.
I'm a finesse player. I don't do that kind of thing.
Swayze's in the hospital. Rob Lowe's like, Racky blindsided you. Did you get the son of a bitch for me? Patrick Swayze's always got his bit of a southern drawl. I don't really know what his accent. He's got a drawl.
Even though he's supposed to be Canadian in this movie.
That's how we Canadians talk.
Is it so strange to hear this voice? come out of
Southern
a
Canadians in Hamilton talk like this.
Now fetch me a mint julep and some northern fried chicken.
I'll take a Bloody Mary.
This
I'm a Canadian. I drink Bloody Marys.
hockey game has given me the vapors.
Sutton, I guess, gets hospitalized in Thunder Bay, which is what you want to do, but everybody's...
Which is what you want to do. Has a steel plate in his skull.
Oh, yeah, right. He's talking. It's like, the back of my head feels cold, like it's lying on the ice. They put a steel plate in the back of his head immediately. So his head got fucked up pretty bad. Turns out Sutton, he's irreplaceable. Losing him is a huge blow to the team. Got a couple of the coaching staff talking about it. They don't know what they're going to do. Coach decides it's time for his hard-ass moment. Put your gear on.
It's his
Suey.
again moment.
Again.
But it didn't work out.
No, because Rob Lowe is a little whiny baby, and it's like you meet. But to his point, like, are you gonna have a hockey practice after you just played a game? You just took the bus in from Thunder Bay. You're having a practice now.
Can you imagine you took a bus from Thunder Bay back to Hamilton? That's a
What is that, 12 hours?
Yeah, that's a long ride.
Ontario's a big so. Canada's like space.
Just Ontario
it's
in
large
itself
and
is
it's mostly
large.
empty.
Like-
So to get from one place to the other, it takes a long time. It's not like if you're in Germany or something like that and you're just hopping a train from one town to another. Like
Yes.
it takes like
German
days of your
listeners.
life to get from one town to another
Yeah.
in Canada. It's a bleak, barren wasteland.
It's a journey.
Little young blood bitch baby pretty boy doesn't want to practice. Coach is like, you're not on the ice in 5 minutes. You're off the team. You just keep walking, young blood.
All the way back to the farm.
Which it turns out is exactly what he does pretty much.
Yeah.
Not before having a little chit chat with Jesse.
I would think he maybe caught a ride back to the farm at least, but
Yeah, is he
He
calling
probably hitched.
I assume Jesse picked him up.
to the farm? Yeah.
in a Zamboni.
It's not quite winter.
What are you doing, Jesse? Those aren't street legal. The wheels, they turn in the back. It's all wonky and fucked up. You can't drive that all
hop
the way
on.
back to the farm. We don't know where he's from.
Yeah, it's ambiguous where the farm is.
The farms, everybody's got a farm that
I
they're
think
running
it's in
from.
like
That's what this movie's about.
Pennsylvania or some shit.
Oh, shit.
Youngblood isn't a Bostonian or something like that. He doesn't have like an identifiable Minnesota accent.
I assumed it was like Michigan being like that close to Hamilton.
Sure.
I guess that would make sense too. Yeah,
We don't know really how close.
Hitchhike back to the farm.
Yeah, he has a talk with Jesse there, and they're looking at pictures of Sutton and the team, and it's like, I see them pictures of Patrick Swayze, and they're lamenting all of his lost potential, and that fucking hit me just a little bit in a way the movie didn't intend. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
God, I miss Patrick Swayze. Such a fucking shining star.
Great guy.
But Jessie, anyway, doesn't give a fuck about Sutton. She's like, I saw Sutton lying on the ice, and all I could think about was, what if it had been you? What if it was Dean?
Dean's like, maybe it should have been me. Maybe I should die.
Dean's like, it was the first time in my life I didn't want to play. And she's like, but it's only a game. And all I ever wanted to do was play.
This turns into South Park level melodrama when they are just trying. Why don't you let me play? Just let me play. Like, it really just ratchets up to an obscene level of melodrama.
So now we get to the best part of the movie where he goes back to the farm, meets back up with his brother Kelly. And Kelly's giving him his typical tough love, fucking lecturing him about it. You think I did the work of two of us so your candy ass could come back here and whine? You think your friend Derek would have hopped the bus home if you cracked your skull on the ice? If you cared about him, you would have stuck around. And Chadwick is a real prick, huh? Well, he's the best coach in the league, Dean.
Well, you wouldn't have made it anyway. All you could do is fight. Kelly's got his number. Everything he's saying is like exactly right. You know, Dean is already thinking it too. Like he already regrets it.
Dean's being a little bitch baby, and Kelly's calling him out for it.
He's exactly right. Sutton would want his
Kelly's
his
a
ass
good
playing.
Kelly's a good big brother.
And especially when he comes back with both eyes.
Yeah.
Like, what's his
bitch.
fucking
Yeah, he's got a
problem?
little scar right here.
Yeah.
She's like, fuck you. Get the fuck back there, man. Like, what the...
Well, Kelly tells him, like, when I got cut from the team for getting my eye poked out by a hockey stick, I begged them to let me play. Like, I begged them to let me get back on the ice with one eye. And meanwhile, you're a little bitch baby, and you quit.
You're the bitch.
Yeah, so then we get a short montage of them working on the farm, and Dean's just failing at everything. He can't handle the chickens.
Can't catch the chickens.
He can't gather the cuckoos.
He's like, he's like fucking
He can't handle the
milking
hay
horses
falling on him.
for some
Like-
reason, and the cows are like, he's trying to ride the cows around barrels. He's got it all messed up.
He's more of a hindrance than a help.
He's riding chickens.
There's one
He's
one
waiting
funny
for the
bit where-
horses to give out eggs.
I don't know what he's doing. Dean's in like the coal hole or something like that. He's in this like pit and he's trying to just like clear some hay out. And Kelly just keeps dumping buckets of hay on him from this like opening in the roof or something.
Yeah.
Like, hey, cut it out. Cut it out.
It's some kind of
slow
farm
down.
chore.
And then she's like, boom.
Audience,
Like, more
can you
hay.
imagine Rob Lowe working on a farm? Not a fucking chance. Kelly's sitting there at dinner time. He's reading aloud the papers saying that Hewitt got suspended for fucking attacking a guy with his hockey stick,
Which he did.
which he very much did.
That seems it's commonplace in that league. Totally normal.
Yeah.
Sutton,
But there should have been more suspensions, which is what the infuriating part
Yeah.
is, I think.
Sutton's out and Dean is gone, so the Mustangs championship hopes are gone. They're not looking so fucking good.
They're gonna.
How are they going to get the Memorial Cup without their three best players?
Go, your buddy Racky's fucking people up in the league or whatever. Twisting the knife a little into Dean, trying to get him to accept that he has to go back to the team. They have to do a training montage, though, first. They have to go on the farm and do a classic Rocky-style training montage.
Dean, he's in the barn and he's just staring at a punching bag, just like,
Yeah.
What do I
He's
do?
like, what do I do?
just hit it, pillow hands.
Oh, but it is very important that he learns how to fight, because this was his first failing in the movie during tryouts. Was he lost the fight to Racky. He was a good skater, but he lost the fight in tryouts to Racky. So now he does have to do the Rocky thing, and just like Rocky loses to Clubber Lang first or whatever, and then has to come back for the victory in the second fight. That's what this is for Dean Youngblood.
A pitiful who wants to play hockey.
Yeah.
Come lane.
That's your woman, Dean Youngblood.
Hey, Youngblood. But yeah, Dean's decided he's got to fucking learn how to fight. He's got to throw down. His hands are pillows.
Yeah, so this montage, it's him learning how to box.
Yeah.
It just turns into Rocky 4 because that's what hockey is. It's half punching and half
Yeah,
everything.
this is where I got confused whether or not it was a hockey movie or a Rocky movie.
He's hitting the heavy bag. He's working the speed bag too.
Speed bag. I know. I was like, yeah, I'm going to cry if they give me a speed bag. And we do.
It's just like, you do it like this. And it's like, okay.
That's why you never made it to the big leagues, Paddy. You didn't have a speed bag
I did have a speed.
in your apartment.
No speed bag.
Dean's old man, he gets in on the training. He skates around the ice. He goes, hit me. And he just fucking jersey pulls Dean. He's like, yeah. You can learn to punch in the barn, but you got to learn to survive on the ice, which is true. Hockey fighting is different from standing on level ground and punching a punching bag.
If people want to think boxing is any kind of similar to fighting on the ice,
those are not the same skills.
And like it all comes down to like balance. It's not you can't balance.
And that's what Dean's dad is teaching him here. He's like, you got to learn how to stay on your skates. You got to learn how to get pulled and jostled around, pull somebody's jersey and not fall down and look like an oaf.
Pull the jersey. God damn it. Pull it. If your dads ever do this to you, pull my jersey.
It's a weird moment.
God damn you, you goddamn pussy.
Pull that jersey the way you were milking that horse I saw you earlier.
Why didn't you help me before?
I
I didn't want to see another son hurt. Mm-hmm. Sometimes us old farts aren't so smart.
Now he realizes he's got to teach his kids how to fight hockey fights.
Now he's got his house in order.
So finally.
So he kicks his dad's ass, and then...
That's when you're a man, though, right? When you pull your dad's shirt over his head and punch him one in the face. But you guys got to remember, when you're fighting dads, anything goes. It's like a street fight.
Dads have dad strength.
Kick him in the ass. Fight dirty.
Dads have dad strength, and also they have... that weird sort of pride where they can't lose.
Yeah. Their will is so much more than yours.
You still can't beat your old man.
They have so much to lose.
This is all I have.
If you beat me in this fight, what do I have? A fucking dust farm and a one-eyed son. my wife left me. I really need you to be a success, Dean. My life's not going on the way I planned.
He's just laying on the ground after, like, finish it. Just finish it. No.
So, he's back in Canada. It's the Memorial Cup final. Dean shows up. I love how every time he shows up to play hockey somewhere, sometimes he's got like skates and gloves and a helmet. Sometimes he's just got like gloves. Like he never really has.
He shows
all
up
his
with
gear.
just like skates and be like, I want to play. It's like, with the rest of your shit.
You took the rest of your shit home. I remember I saw you walk out.
We sold your jersey.
Yeah. Right?
Had to make money.
We gotta fucking sew a new one now.
Yeah, the whole timeline here is really weird because all this is happening during like the playoffs, right? For the Memorial Cup or whatever.
It's a week tops.
Yeah, so like he has time to go back to the farm, do a whole training montage. Like when Rocky does a training montage, it's like a week long, and then he has time to recuperate before the fight or whatever. But the timeline here is weird because he's immediately going back to the arena. Like
the timeline's very weird.
Dean's been gone for a week, maybe two tops, and I know it's a movie,
I know for the Memorial Cup they do not play 7 games. You had to win at least 1 or 2 games without him to make it the final round.
Which on this team, the only 2 players they have established that have good amount of skill are Dean Youngblood and Patrick Swayze,
which are both out.
Yeah, who are
and
both
they've
not
still
playing.
managed to win at least 1 game. Without him. So
Squeaked
it's just
one by.
It's like these fuckers could do it.
No, they need Youngblood, and he needs a week of training to beat a brick shithouse.
Yeah, he has to go beat up his dad before he can learn.
I got some demons I need to exercise before I can play hockey.
Go get him, son.
I don't fucking buy it. Rob Lowe's in fine shape, but like Racky is fucking solid.
He's a man.
Yeah,
Rob Lowe is a boy.
Like, Racky's had a couple divorces under his belt.
100%.
Yeah, guaranteed.
That's the true test of a man. Okay, so it's the Memorial Cup final. Dean shows up. I want to play tonight, coach. What makes you think you can play?
Good stare down.
And we hear Sutton on the inside of the locker room tell Coach, hey, let him in.
Well, first Dean says to the coach, he's like,
Yeah,
if I can get past you, can I play? And it's like he wants to test out his new fighting skills on the coach.
Yeah.
And the coach is like, you think you can get past me, kid? And they continue their stare down. It's really intense. They stare at each other for like it's probably like 20 seconds. And I like how the coach, you could tell that the coach totally would throw down with Dean too. Like he's ready to have a fist fight with Dean. Sutton calls him into the back room, let him play. He's all bandaged up like a mummy. He's got his steel plate in the back of his head, and him and Dean have a hug and a smooch, and they're brothers, you know. They're family now. They're on a team. Patrick Swayze, Sutton's like, I knew you'd be back tonight. Just an inkling he had.
With like a bench around his head. Like,
Yeah.
Why is he here? And
Yeah.
he's like, you gonna watch? I never watched my.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what?
He's like, can you tell me what my name is?
I just
Because
wanted
I
to
had a bad head injury. And
Mommy?
I just wanted to shave some balls in the locker room.
Yeah, this movie makes no sense. But it's second period already. Dean's still sitting there warming the bench. We see Racky, he scores. It's 1-0 for the bad guys. They fucking let Dean go out and skate. Racky hits Dean in his perfect teeth with a fucking high stick.
Yeah.
Jessie, that's when she comes in, and she's like, oh my god, no, his perfect teeth that I was so obsessed with.
Just leave his ass alone.
She just loses all interest in him. Oh. Miss
Now it's-
McGill kicks him out.
It's 2-1 for Thunder Bay going into the third. Coach gives them a pep talk. Well, let's do something we're proud of. We want to look them dead in the eye, not at their skates.
This speech isn't as inspirational as Kurt Russell's.
It's
but
not bad. I don't know.
it gets
It's
the
fine.
job done, I guess.
Yeah. Hewitt and Kelly, and I think Dino's dad, too, are all there in the stands.
Yeah, the whole
so
gang
the whole
showed up.
gang, they're cheering them on.
Some people chirping Dean, too.
Yeah, there's some fat guy, and he's like, what's the matter? You leave your balls at home, Youngblood? And Kelly stands up, and he's like, sit down and shut up, lard ass. And everybody, like, cheers. It's like, showed his ass.
Got him.
I suppose it's in this scene where the coach gets the popcorn dumped on him and then just, like, beats a dude up in the crowd.
He's still pissed off that Youngblood wanted to take a shot at him, so he's just ready to unload on.
That's fun when that happens. That happens in the NHL sometimes. Like, who was it? Is it Mike Milbury who went into the stands and beat a fan with his shoe? He used to play for Boston. There's like all these fun
What's that,
historic
Ty
moments.
Domi?
Ty Domi beat a fan
Ty
with
Domi-
his fists.
Oh,
with his fist.
Yeah, not with
Yeah,
his
well,
shoe.
because
Yeah.
like the penalty, what was it? The penalty box broke.
Yeah.
Ty Domi came out of the box and fucking beat up
I thought
some
somebody fell
guy
into
that
the
was-
penalty box.
Yeah, the guy
Oh,
was
yeah,
chirping
that's
and
what it
leaning
was.
on
and
the
then
glass.
Ty Domi was just like, well, let's fucking go.
Yeah, that's my chance.
Today's my day.
Just through who else? Rob Ray. He beat up a fan. A fan run onto the ice, and Rob Ray gave him about 30 punches in the head. That was good.
Hockey players punch hard and fast.
Yeah,
Love
Oh,
it.
yeah.
jackhammer.
Jabs and crosses just
Yeah.
straight to the face.
I know everybody at this table's been punched in the face at least once.
If you're a podcaster, you've probably been punched in the face a few times.
Maybe not enough.
Yeah, a little more. We got to learn our lesson.
So it's 2-1 Thunder Bay. Youngblood does a double wraparound, ties it up, 10 seconds to go. Now it's the big tense
the
moment.
double wraparound.
Yeah.
Which is like,
It's a double Gretzky.
why not just
He's twice
score
as
on the
good as
first
Gretzky.
wraparound? When
the
I
goalie
saw
was
it,
in
I'm
the
like,
right position.
well, why is he going around twice?
Because
Because he's twice as good as Gretzky. Do
Yeah.
you not hear me?
the goalie was ready the first time. It was the second time where he got him off guard.
He's hanging out in Youngblood's office. He's ready to drop that puck in the net. He capitalizes.
So he's up there. He's taking a draw against Racky. He wins it. He skates off. Racky hits him with the most blatant trip ever.
And he's pissed off. Their coach is pissed off that they get called on this, and it's like,
The trippiest trip that ever tripped.
But he doesn't
So,
even
of
call
course,
it though. It takes coach yelling it out. Hey ref, blind ref who misses all the calls. Did you see that?
How is it the same ref
Mr.
for every
Magoo is
game?
the ref.
Yeah.
How do you fucking miss this?
I mean, the ref just like is like, I don't want to get roasted by this guy again. I'm gonna call a penalty.
Yeah, I guess I'll call a penalty.
This guy knows what my car looks like. I guess I'll call a penalty before I come out and it's just covered in salami or something.
So Dean gets a penalty shot. And what do you think, listeners? Does he score? Of course. He does a fancy little move off his own skate.
Yeah,
he's
it's
fucking
good.
going up there. Goalie goes down and he shelves it. It's 3-2 Mustangs. They win the game.
The fact that he starts the penalty shot with like kicking it up to his skate.
Showboat.
Most
That's absurd.
talented guys can do it easily, but like you would never risk it.
No, that's just
It's not-
showboating needlessly.
Yeah.
You have the puck on your stick.
You never
You
like
have so much more control.
You never do it just for the sake of doing it. You would
No.
never. like I can do it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
But I've done it, but like
had
it's
you
not.
on here.
Connor McPaddy over here. Dude, fucking
No,
do it.
I'm trash. No,
Yeah.
nobody would ever risk it. Ever.
Youngblood hasn't learned a
Like-
single lesson.
His journey was never to learn to stop being showboaty.
No.
His journey was to stop being a little bitch baby.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That's the whole arc of the movie.
Yeah.
He was already the best at fucking. He was
Yeah.
the best at scoring. He
Yeah.
was like the best at everything except farming and fighting.
And he never improves at farming.
No.
Unfortunately.
He just needed to learn.
He just
how
needed to learn how to
fucking
fight.
So there's room for a sequel.
So there's 3 seconds left. It's Coach Chadwick calls a timeout. Chadwick says to him, "Watch your stick, okay?" Which I guess is a message.
Well, yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck does he mean by that?
the
And we're
coach-
about to find out.
Coach tries to pull Youngblood off the face-off. He's
Yeah.
like, Youngblood, you're out. This guy in. And Youngblood's like, Coach,
this
I'm
is-
not leaving the game.
This is a coach trying to protect his skilled players.
Yeah.
Which is the general consensus
Yeah.
you should do.
That's what you should do.
Coach is like, there's 3 seconds left in the game. Come on, have a
got the
seat.
game.
And he's like, no, Coach, there is something I've got to do on
Like
the ice.
with 3 seconds left.
I have to go get pummeled by the biggest enforcer
Yeah.
in the league.
Racky's known for using his stick in tricky ways. That's why the coach is like, he's accepted that, okay,
watch
Youngblood
his
has to
stick.
do
Yeah.
this, so go watch his stick when you go out there and fight him.
So he wins the draw against Racky. He takes it. He fires the puck away. It's game over. And then he just goes, "Let's go, Racky."
Yeah.
And they just fucking start sword fighting. with
Iraqi
this-
says,
Yeah.
on guard, eh? And they just fucking like pull out their sticks and
It's exactly like the Obi-Wan Vader in a Star Wars A New Hope style fight, like that style of.
If you should strike me down.
yeah, like the slow. This is not a Phantom Menace sword fight. This is a New Hope sword fight.
Yeah.
which is bizarre because I thought we were watching a hockey movie.
Yeah. It was
This is fucking crazy.
This is
His dad is
fucking
in the stands.
crazy.
And he's like, "Get his stick away, Diener."
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is how you do it.
this doesn't happen.
Anyway,
It's
finally.
like too bad my brother taught me how to punch instead of fucking sword fight.
Yeah.
Like,
Little do you know, Raki, I had 14 years of fencing lessons before I decided to join this league.
I spent time with D'Artagnan.
Like, wouldn't that be great if a hockey duel had like multiple parts? Though there's the stick fight, and then you take your skates off and battle with those.
Well,
for
like
a bit.
like a final boss battle where like you're fighting Ganondorf and you gotta fucking play some tennis
Yeah.
with him for a little bit, and then you kind of do that.
Then you gotta
like,
get
oh,
on
now
a
he's
horseback.
yeah.
Rob Lowe like knocks the stick out of his hand, and then he's like, "I'm gonna shove that stick up his ass," and then he threw it away, being like, "I don't want that up my ass."
Yeah.
Like,
That ass that's Jesse's ass. You don't shove anything up Jesse's ass unless you ask her first. So now they're down to some good old fashioned fist fighting, and they're going back and
I
forth.
love this so much. How this is the
this is the pinnacle.
climax
This is the
of the movie.
climax of the movie. The game is won.
It
Like-
literally is Hot Rod. It literally is. He accomplished all the goals that matter, but all that really mattered was him beating up his dad.
Is he tough enough? Sure, he's a rude, crude dude now, but is he tough enough? And you're goddamn right he's tough enough. He knocks Raki out cold.
Yeah.
And I do love how
Connects
all the
on his jaw.
techniques from that training montage come up in this fight.
Yeah.
He lifts the jersey over Racky's head. He gives him a combo like Kelly showed him how to do.
Oh, then there's round 2.
This is
Yeah.
this is a
Right?
long fight. It is
Yeah,
approaching they live length fight.
Yeah.
Like, it goes on.
But yeah, his dad and his brother, they just look on proud as they're just like, yeah, he's finally a hockey player.
He's using our skills.
He fucking knocks Racky out. Coach lights a cigar. The team picks up Dean and carries him around triumphantly.
That part was ridiculous. Who's picking up a
They won the
game-winning
Memorial
goal
Cup, and it's
then?
like, no, let him fucking fight this big freak
Yeah.
for fucking 6 minutes. I guess. I mean, what are we doing here? Oh no, it's his emotional arc. Oh, okay, never
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
We'll step back
Whatever
then.
Dean wants.
Who is he?
We shall wait.
Didn't that guy just disappear during the finals for a while for like several games?
He only played for like a period and a half. These guys are like, who the fuck's this guy?
Hey, what's the name of this movie? Youngblood.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
That's true. So he's not called Racky.
He
It's not
got
called
benched
Sutton.
so often. He probably, honestly, for this whole movie, he probably only played like 5 periods of hockey.
This guy doesn't have the conditioning to go the distance.
No.
It's a bittersweet moment, though. Rob Lowe being carried by the crowd because he looks out into the audience and Jesse's not there. She's left during the fight. She's not into the combat sports, I guess. So
Doesn't like the blood and guts.
Epilogue.
Dean's standing alone on the ice. Some kids come out and ask him to sign their sticks. Kindly obliges them. Asks them how many goals you score last year. One of these dud kids is like 0.
pathetic goose egg.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, you fucking loser.
He's like, you suck.
Well, he's the goalie though.
Yeah, the kid's
Yeah,
like,
he says
I'm a
that. He's like,
goalie.
I'm the
was he
goalie.
Yeah, okay, I missed
And
that.
he's like, well, why not? And he's like, I'm the goalie. He's like, oh, I guess that makes
Yeah,
sense.
Martin Brodeur scored a goal.
yeah.
A number of goalies have scored a
Another
goal.
kid's like 78.
Name
and he's
more.
like, oh, you'll be playing for the Mustangs next year. And that's when Jessie comes out. And yeah, she's like, what
dick
about
right
me, Mr. Youngblood?
She tends to the wounds on his face. She like reaches up to his bruises, and he's shy. He's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm hideous.
This is where we get one of my favorite cliches in all the film. She says, you look like shit. Where it's Rob Lowe.
Yeah,
Like a bit of a bruise.
Yeah.
it
He
just
doesn't
makes
look
him
like
more
shit.
rugged and handsome having a big bruise. Yeah.
She says, you look like shit. I love you anyway. And she gives him a big old smooch, I think. Wow.
Fucking
Yep.
hardcore 80s music through the credits,
Hell
and we're
yeah.
out of here.
Fucking let her
Beautiful.
grind. This
Yeah.
movie has an awesome soundtrack.
It does. Throughout, there's a lot of just, I don't know any of them. There was a John Hyatt tune at some point. But just
Cheesy as shit.
Yeah,
80s music.
Very pure 80s. They've all got names like Stand in the Fire or Out of the Ice or Out from the Shadows, like names like that. And winning is everything.
Just the most generic, inspirational fucking
Yeah.
garbage that you could work out to.
It's same with the lyrics too. It's all like, yeah, you gotta give it your all, and then you make the grade. You just like,
because we are out from the shadows.
yeah,
Friends are there and we fight together.
yeah.
That was Youngblood. Boys, we talked about some hockey games. We talked about some hockey movies today, didn't we?
We sure did.
Why don't we just take a minute to pick our teeth up off the ice? We'll do a little round the table, see what everybody liked most. We'll start with Slobsy. What do you think?
I like both these movies pretty good. There, Coach. I think both of them gave 110%. We're just out there. I mean, Miracle's taking shots. It's fucking hitting them. Youngblood's got some pretty good acting. I think both of them exceeded my expectations a little bit, but if I have to pick one favorite, it's probably Youngblood. It's a little more silly. It has titties in it. And, I enjoy a movie with a good soundtrack and some titties and some ridiculousness. Miracle just wasn't quite fun enough for me, and it just teased just enough hockey that I wanted to see more. But really, I'd rather just watch hockey than watch Miracle. I love hockey.
Hockey.
Spoken like a proud Canadian.
Very good. Paddy. Paddock.
I wanted to like Youngblood more, but I think I'm going to give it to Miracle. The hockey plays in Miracle were actually legit. I think I'm going to give it to Miracle, even though it's a PG rating.
No boobs in Miracle.
No boobs in Miracle.
But you got to respect the boys. They're playing it. They're skating on the ice there.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you, Maxie?
Well, I think both of these movies were a 3-point slam dunk. I'm not an athlete, but they're both good. There's something that's just really entertaining about a sports movie in general. It just sort of works.
100%. Like, there's almost no sports movie that I can think of that I don't enjoy.
I do think Miracle, it is a little too polished. You know, it is a Disney product. It's very crisp and clean looking. It's almost like you could tell, like, everybody who was involved with it is pretty talented, like from a script writing perspective and stuff. They know when to hit the beats, but they almost know it too well. Like, it's a little too rote. It's a little too, it needed a little more grit for me to really get behind it. Because, like we said, these hockey players, these young college-age hockey players, they were probably disgusting animals, and their coach was probably a psychopath. Like that, I want to see that movie. Youngblood, I was actually really impressed with. I walked away with it, like, super impressed by the cinematography. It is melodramatic, but that kind of works for, like, a drama about 17-year-olds or whatever. Unironically, I was like, man, Youngblood, this is my jam. I love this shit. This is so 80s. I love the synthy, like, it gives me those vibes, those 80s music video vibes, which I like. I give big thumbs up to Youngblood.
I like both these movies a lot. I had a lot of fun watching Youngblood. It was fun, but I think I gotta go Miracle on this one, boys. For me, I know I get what you're saying. It's super polished. It's super pat. I didn't really much care how it always kept drawing in the whole background, the Soviet, America and the downward spiral Soviet stuff. I didn't really care about that. But what really worked for me is the hard working, the drills, the blowing the whistles, the hockey playing look good. When I'm watching a sports movie, like, it hit all those notes for me super hard. And so I got to go Miracle. And like I've seen this. It's just the second time I've seen it, but man, it worked for me. And I know what's going to happen. Every time you put in a sports movie and you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Hey, they're both good movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Miracle is more obviously a good movie.
Yeah. But I'm so happy I watched Youngblood.
I'm telling you, Youngblood is the Michael Mann hockey movie. Everyone's got to watch it.
It's not bad for
Michael Mann.
So your reason for watching your reason for saying it's like a Michael Mann movie is good. They hose the streets down before they did a shot.
No, it's also the melodrama where it reminded me a lot of the way the dialogue plays out. It reminded me of a Manhunter. I should specify an 80s Michael Mann.
So I actually think that, like, Michael Mann he just always does movies about consummate professionals, and I could see writing about Herb Brooks being more of a Michael Mann perspective, where it's like, this is a fucking guy who knows coaching, and you better get the fuck out of his way.
Actually,
I would love to have seen Michael Mann's take on Miracle.
That would have been cool.
That would be way better.
I guess there is a touch of John Hughes to Youngblood, which I like. Like young people having serious conversations, having sex, getting drunk, that kind of thing.
Miracle is entirely sexless.
Yes.
It is. It's a very chaste movie.
Yeah. One time someone thinks of sex in the movie, they're punished for it brutally.
Yeah. they got skate for fucking like 6 hours after the fact.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that fucking jigsaw puppet come after me than have me fucking do those sueys.
Like, it operates.
So you decided to smell some
See
panties.
those hot chicks? You're skating. Like,
Fuck me.
It operates on the same principle as a Friday the 13th movie. If you even so much as think about sex, you're getting speared.
Yeah. Got to be chaste if you want to be the last boy. Well, all right. So it looks like we're in a dead heat
decision.
Split decision
2
for
for 2.
our hockey episode.
I don't think this has ever happened, has it? Or
I don't know.
we have to do a hockey fight to settle it.
We're all gonna have to pull up jerseys over our shoulder. Jerseys up, boys.
Yeah.
No,
Everybody,
I mean, our
time to
ratings
shave
really
our
matter.
scrotums.
Oh, yeah.
all right. Who's got the cleanest scrotum?
I do. We know it's me.
Yeah, it comes
yeah.
down to whoever has the cleanest scrotum.
Yeah, you're
That's how we
recently
always
single. You got this cleanest scrotum. That makes the most sense.
Who's got the cleanest straight razor? because that's important. Mine's pretty rusty.
What I want to know is who's got the next movies we're talking about on this podcast.
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Next time on the podcast, we're gonna visit a couple of killer couples, a couple crime sprees when we watch Terrence Malick's Badlands.
Nice.
And the Tarantino-written Natural Born Killers. So, yeah. Join us for a bloodbath next time on the pod.
Well, all right. Until next time, we want to extend a big thank you to Jason Paddock for joining us on this podcast, our resident jock. So thank you for coming out.
Thanks, Paddy.
Thank you.
He gave us a swirly and a wedgie, but we earned it.
He wouldn't come in until he could give us all atomic wedgies at the door. It's some sort of weird hockey vampire ritual. I don't fully understand it. So until next
You
time.
missed a spot on my ball sack.
I'll get that. Give me a straight razor and some shaved
There you
cream.
go.
If this has been something you enjoyed, please rate, review, subscribe, share this podcast with any other lowlives in your life. And until next time, when we're going to talk about Badlands and Natural Born Killers, thanks for listening to High and Low. I'm Vonn.
I'm Luke.
I'm Mitchell.
And special guest, Paddy.
Smell you later.
Bye.